Welcome to part 8 and the final part of our pictorial whole cloth quilt tutorial. I see that finish line ahead. Hang in there. Before we do any of these borders, we need to stop and do one thing first. You need to measure out 4 inches all around the quilt from the last division line drawn before you drew in your swags. That will be where your binding will go. So mark 4 inches all the way around. In this lesson, we're going to finish up the final border with the swags, the bubbles, and piano keys. So for now, it's all about the swag. The nice thing about this border is you can go all the way around in one complete step. So that's the first. And then we're going to go back to where we started from. Then we're going to proceed to the next step, and we'll be ready to do the little feather swag right there. So there's one. We're going to backtrack. We're going to hop and hop again and backtrack and down. And we've completed the little feather inset. So let's stitch this out. We're going across to the left. We're going to then stitch back to the right where we started from. And then we're going to stitch to the left again. Now we're going to come in to stitch the feather swag. So we're going to go up and over to the right. We're going to backtrack that little feather, and then we're going to hop, hop, and hop. One more time. Let's backtrack here and go all the way down to where we started, and we have completed this segment. Then we'll move on to the next swag, and it's the same thing. Over to the left, back to the right, and then over to the left again. And then we would do the little feather insert at this point. Now the corner feathers are just a little different than the ones in between the swags. So watch how we do those. We're going to go up and over, and then we're going to hop, 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 and hop again. Then we're going to backtrack and go down to where we started, up around, backtrack, and back down again. And that's how you complete the corner. You might be thinking to yourself, well, this looks fine just the way it is. I think I'm done. But let's keep going. You've done such a great job so far. Let's add a little more dimension to the project. Let's make bubbles. Now I've really slowed the video down so that you can see how this is done. I've drawn a circle and I've gone around it again halfway. Another circle clockwise, go around it halfway, and now we're going to go counterclockwise. Finish that circle, go around to the other side of the circle, and now let's go clockwise again. Finish the circle, go around to the other side, and let's go counterclockwise. We're going to finish that circle, go around, and now we're going clockwise. Finish the circle, go around the other side, and counterclockwise. So you're basically doing 1.5 times around so that you can get to the other side of the circle and then start your other one. Each circle will be in the opposite direction of the one preceding. So let's stitch it out now. Again, there's your circle, 1.5 times around it, and now we're going to go the opposite direction. We're now going clockwise, 1.5 times. Now we're going to go counterclockwise. Here's your circle, go around another half, and now we're going to do a clockwise circle. Each one of these, when we get to the halfway point, we can stop and rest and think. So there's nothing to freak out about. Just take your time. Remember again, each circle will change directions. One time you'll be going clockwise, and in the next circle you'll be going counterclockwise. And that's how they all just sort of nest in together. So you go around 1.5 times, go in the opposite direction, 1.5 times, change your direction, and that's how the bubbles are done. Pretty neat, huh? The final part is called piano keys, and it kind of resembles the keys on a piano. What we're going to do, and I'm using a ruler. Now, if you prefer, you can draw your lines and stitch them that way. But I'm taking my ruler and I'm stitching every 1/2 inch. And I do that by placing my 1/4 inch line on the previous stitched row of stitches. I go up to the swag and back. So that way I don't have to worry about backtracking along the swag. Where I'm going from one stitch up to the other, that's all going to be covered by the binding. So if it's not as neat as you would like it to be, you're not going to see it anyway. There is a method to my madness. Now, once in a while, if you see the horizontal line on your ruler, you want to double check by placing that on your line drawn to make sure that your lines are indeed going straight up and down and you're not veering off to the right or the left. Now, to prepare your piano key border corners, you need to draw a diagonal line from the inside corner, right where your swags hit in the corner, to the outer corner. And you'll see why we're doing this as we progress. Now, as we continue to stitch the piano keys, we're going to pay close attention to that 45-degree angle line that we just drew. So we're going to continue every 1/2 inch, going up and back. Now over here, if you'll see, we're going to hit that line. So that means when we hit that line, we're going to stop right at the diagonal line and come back. Go over another 1/2 inch. And we're going again to stop on the diagonal line and come back. Go up to the diagonal line, stop and back. Now this last key that we're putting in here really isn't necessary because more than likely it's going to be covered by your binding. But I just want to show you something that everybody sort of forgets when they're using rulers. We're going to start out and we're going to line that up and go right into, oh wait a minute, no we're not. Remember, we have to allow for that 1/4 inch from our ruler to our needle. So if you're trying to line it up, you have to make the allowance that the ruler foot has to hit the ruler, allowing for that 1/4 inch from the foot to the needle. So if you keep your stitching like you did before, keep your ruler on the 1/4 inch line, just like we did before, you're going to find these miters will line up perfectly for you. So just take your time so that you have nice, neat corners. And remember, you can't put your ruler on the miter edge that you're trying to hit. You have to allow that 1/4 inch. And then you're just going to continue around the corner just like you have before, every 1/2 inch doing your stitching. So this brings this pictorial whole cloth quilt tutorial to an end. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to see all your results very shortly. This concludes our tutorials for the year 2015. Join us next year when we start paper piecing a block of the month, with heavy emphasis on how do we quilt it now that it's done. This project will be a quilt as you go, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, so I hope you join us then. Until then, I hope you have a joyous holiday season, a happy new year, and I can't wait to start up again. Bye!